Hi guys, it's Dan, and you're listening to the 5th instalment of the Wilberforce podcast. Now, this episode is the first in a two-parter with my partner in crime at Wilberforce, Dan VanTilburg. Many of you already might know, but Dan co-runs the role-playing enrichment on a Wednesday afternoon, and Dungeons & Dragons is a massive passion of his. We spoke about how players can enhance their characters while we're away from college, and how games in general are great at keeping us going through lockdown.
The beauty of it is that you can do as little or as much as you want with it and get as much out of it as you want at the same time. So, I mean, if you're looking at making your role-playing better, just watching films, you know what I mean? Watching particular genres of film or TV series. A lot of our play has been influenced by a lot of the films and a lot of the sort of the media that I watch. So yeah, I mean, you take out of it what you want, and the sky's the limit, really. I mean, obviously there are certain caveats within it that say, you know, if you're playing in a high fantasy realm for whatever reason, you can't have laser guns and spaceships and all that kind of stuff. But as far as character progression goes, you can be as detailed as you like, and there's no taboo on not doing a lot. You know, I play with guys that have got 6 pages of backstory written for a character. I've played with a guy that wrote no backstory, and it just became. He sort of started creating it on the fly. So it depends on how you want to play it, but there's no set hard and fast rule about it at all. So you can make it your own, which is, I think, that's the biggest attraction to it, and can sometimes be a little bit intimidating as well, because it is literally in your hands. But it's just being brave.
You mentioned about the media and all the media that you watch. What do you recommend for, maybe if they're just beginning and they're new to the club, what do you think you recommend for them to watch?
Right, well, YouTube's every D&D player's best friend, for a start. I mean, there are videos on character creation, tips on world building if you want to be a DM or a GM, so a Dungeon Master / Games Master. Two of the main ones that I watch purely for enjoyment are Critical Role. Now, if you're into your D&D and your RPGs, that name will ring alarm bells for you anyway, because it is huge. Absolutely superb cast of voice actors that actually just play, and it started out as a group of friends, and they've now turned it into a business. The other one would be Dimension 20. It's another really, really good one, and you'll find that sometimes the two franchises cross over with each other as well. So they'll sort of appear in each other's series as well, which is quite nice. So they're not in direct competition all the time. It's just a nice group of people and a nice environment to be in. But yeah, YouTube definitely is 100% the way to go.
I mean, you can find absolutely everything on YouTube these days.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I figured out how to wire in plug sockets on YouTube. You know what I mean?
What was that? I mean, even the most stupidest things, I was looking at how to polyfiller.
What is it? But that's a great example of something relatively simplistic, but if you don't know how to do it, if you've never done it before, it's going to be intimidating.
Can you say that for this, maybe people who want to get into D&D, but they're a bit like, I mean, for me, for instance, I'm a bit like, I won't know what to do. Is YouTube the place to go?
Honestly, I would say YouTube will give you an idea of how it's run, but experience is always going to be better. I mean, when I first started playing, I've been playing now for 2.5, nearly 3 years, with the same group in the same campaign as well. I mean, it's mental, and I was terrified of it because I didn't know any of the other members of the group. It was literally the DM, who was a guy I used to work with, who messaged me one day and said, "Do you fancy joining in?" And we've been playing for nearly 3 years now. But the first couple of sessions, I was looking around at other people, checking out all their gear, because they've got books and they've got dice and they've got everything else.
And I mean, in your office at work, for those who haven't been in our office at work, his side of the room is absolutely stacked with either board games or just D&D equipment and dice.
I won't lie, I have an addictive personality and it has become my addiction. But it's an enjoyable one, and it's quite cathartic as well. It's quite stress relieving. You know, you can sit down, have a laugh, and yeah, it's a good crack. It really is.
Is there any other types of games apart from Dungeons and Dragons that sort of even video games and stuff like that? Anything you'd recommend to play during this lockdown?
I mean,
bearing in mind we work with students.
Well, you see, now this is the critical thing. Obviously, it's all got to be age appropriate. I mean, a lot of the video games I play, I enjoy the RPG genre anyway. A lot of the video games I'll play will fall into that remit. I enjoy the high fantasy kind of stuff. I play some sci-fi as well. One of the ones I'm playing at the minute is a game called Divinity Original Sin. And it's not as mad as it sounds, but it's very Dungeons and Dragons-esque. It's very turn-based, beautiful game. That is definitely, that'll kill a few hours. Each session that you decide to play. I mean, I could quite happily sit behind my computer and play that for the next 24 hours straight. It's good. I mean, video games, I enjoy video games.
I mean, what are you playing at the minute?
So, at the moment...
Ah, yes, you're a PC gamer.
Oh, yes, I've got a PS4 as well, but that's primarily a Blu-ray player now. I haven't really been on it in a while. So I've got things like Divinity Original Sin, Evil Genius. It's quite an old game, but it's brilliant. You play the bad guy. Ah,
see, that's different, because normally you're used to playing the good guy, aren't you?
No, you play the bad guy. You play an evil genius, and you have to build an underground lair and basically try and dominate the world. So it's a nice twist on your typical sort of base building kind of mechanic, where you're the bad guy trying to defend yourself from all of the secret agents that are trying to figure out what you're up to.
And so you use Steam?
Oh, I do a live stream as well with Baron.
Oh, yes, you do your live streams, don't you?
Yeah, we do that. We do that on a Friday night. Usually starts around 10 o'clock, 10:30. We'll stream for about 3 hours or so.
Is that on YouTube?
Play a game called 7 Days to Die on that one. Bit more graphic, but it's a good laugh. And the lads that we play with, they're they're a fun couple of lads. Is that on YouTube? Baron actually posts a separate series of that game on YouTube. It's called 3 Noobs in the Apocalypse. It's a good laugh.
Appropriate.
We live stream through Twitch. So, I mean, there are so many different formats that you can sort of broadcast this kind of thing to. One of the things I'm looking at doing at the minute for just my home group is trying to get what they call a Discord server set up so that we can actually play D&D in social isolation. Because I have to admit, it's been 5 weeks and I'm starting to twitch. This is one of the things that I do enjoy about it. It doesn't have to be this 2.5-year campaign like me and my guys are playing at the minute. You can play bite-sized, just single episodic games. They call them one-shots. And you can just have a laugh and a giggle.
Stay tuned for part 2, where Dan will be talking about how choosing a career in the army was one of the best decisions of his life. Now, if you're listening to this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel and press the little bell icon to stay notified on when the next podcast is available.